Hi there, hope you guys are having a great day. I'm super excited to share with you one of my favorite 5-minute recipes. That's right, you heard me right. 5 minutes. So when people tell me I don't have time to eat healthy, I'm gonna show you how to make the most delicious zoodles. And I know zoodles can be tricky. So many people ask me, this is probably one of my #1 questions, is how do you make zoodles that taste good? So I'm gonna show you. So I start with, you can use the yellow crookneck squash or just the regular zucchini. And you don't have to have a spiralizer, but this is the spiralizer that I use and I love it. It's called a Paderno. You can find it on Amazon. But basically you just cut off the ends of the zucchini, and look you guys, it's just like vegetable magic right here. You will get these gorgeous zoodles. So you can even kind of cut them shorter, because a lot of times people say, oh, that's too long for me, especially when you go to eat it, it kind of does get to be long. But you can just cut them in strands, put them in your bowl, fill it up. I usually probably do like 3 or 4 zucchinis at a time. And then, you guys, this is really complicated, let me tell you. I just put them in a Ziploc bag, and I did these a week ago, and look how fresh, and they're not watery at all. They look great. So then when I go to make my zoodles, because they don't taste good if you make them ahead of time, so you want to make them and then eat them. So I like to fill up my gallon-sized baggie all the way to the top, slide it closed, and then I've got zoodles for the week. I have these at least once a day. So zucchini are awesome because they're really high in water, like 90% water, and they're also really low in calories and high in nutrients. If you do the yellow crookneck squash ones, they have a really nice, a little bit of a thicker skin. So if you like more of a crunch to your zoodle or a thicker texture, use these. These are great as well. Okay, so I'm gonna show you how to make some delicious tomato basil zoodles. So mine literally have like 2 main ingredients: the zoodles and then fire roasted tomatoes. So fire roasted tomatoes come just like this in a can at the grocery store. They're just packed in water. They flash steam them, so they've got, there's no chemicals in these, which is awesome. They're kind of high in sodium, like if you look at the sodium content, but what I do is I just fork the tomatoes out because we don't want that extra juice. It will just make your zoodles more watery. So come over here to the stove with me, and I'm gonna show you how to make the perfect zoodles. Okay, so you're gonna wanna keep this on like medium-high heat. And you don't really need to spray them or put any water in them because they are so high in water that you really can just steam them. So that's what I feel like the secret is to zoodles. I'm gonna put a lid on them. Obviously my lid doesn't fit exactly. This isn't a perfect science, just use what you've got. And then they're just gonna steam for like 2 minutes max. And they're gonna get kind of nice and a little bit more tender. I don't really love the taste of zucchini. So the longer you cook it, it won't taste as much like zucchini. You know how zucchini's kind of bitter a little bit? This is, when you cook it longer, it's just gonna taste, it won't have a strong taste to it. And especially when you add, you can see that I've just taken the tomatoes right out of the can, and you can see how they're charred already, which is awesome. I mean, that is a lot of work to roast a tomato and then, you know, package it and everything. So that's why I feel like buying these at the store is super quick, super helpful. Any way you can get your veggies in for the day, really and truly, the easier the better. I am not a big believer in spending a lot of time in the kitchen. I've got 4 really busy kids, a busy job, and so I like to just come home, have all my stuff, and get it done. Okay, so you can kind of see that these zucchini are starting to sweat a little bit, which is great. And mine's kind of on a little bit of a higher heat because I'm trying to cook them faster. But you can kind of hear them sizzling. They're just kind of getting nice and soft. Now, a lot of people like to take them from here, but I like mine a little bit softer. So I'm gonna leave them for another minute or so and make sure they get kind of a little bit clear. So when you can kind of see through the zucchini is when I like them. A lot of people too struggle with zoodles because they're like, oh, there's so much extra liquid in the bottom, and nobody wants to eat like soupy vegetables. I don't even like to eat soupy vegetables. So the nice thing with this is you can just, the way that you take them out of the pan, like with tongs, and we're gonna let some of this liquid cook off in a minute, but you don't have to just necessarily pour the pan into your bowl. You can just really take them out with, okay, so these are looking awesome. They've got a nice color to them. They're getting soft. And if you noticed, my pot was full, right? When I put them in, they cook down and they cook down fast. Okay, so now we're gonna add our tomatoes. And like I said, we're just looking for that flavor, not necessarily the juice. So we're just gonna put them in there. And if you had some extra time, you could put like garlic in here. I also sometimes make mine with pesto because pesto is delicious. And you could put pepper, whatever you really like to have, you can just put in your zoodles. Now, if you need to add a protein to this meal. So a lot of people have this with like, they'll pre-make some ground turkey, put the ground turkey in, or they'll grill up some chicken or shrimp, and at the end you just top it with your protein. I like to have mine with cottage cheese. You could also have an ideal raw shake on the side, which would be great as well. So any of those protein options will keep you fuller longer, because if you just have the zoodles and tomatoes, you're probably not gonna feel very full. Okay, I think we're ready, which is super exciting because I'm hungry. All right, so now when I go to put these in my bowl, I literally just pick them up with my tongs, and I mean, pretty much, you guys, this is almost pasta, right? So then I just leave all that reserve liquid in the pan. But we've got the nice flavor from the fire roasted tomatoes. Okay, so you can always top these with some fresh herbs. And then sometimes I use like a everyday seasoning blend. And if you want, you can put whatever cheese you have. So if you're not vegan, put some cheese with it. So there's Parmesan is amazing, mozzarella is amazing. I sometimes just use a very quick if I'm in a hurry. But look, these, you guys, are so good. I promise once you make them a few times, you'll get really good at using them and knowing when they are at the perfect consistency to take off. And then you can just have them for dinner, lunch, even breakfast. So try these out. Let me know how it goes. I'll talk to you guys later.